Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to today's Postgrad Insight session. Today is brought to you by the University of Roehampton. This is an exclusive and new session. We've never done a webinar before with Roehampton, so it'll be intriguing to find out everything there is to know about the university, where they're situated, and all the courses they've got to offer and what it's like to study there. Before I go any further, a reminder that today's session is live, so if you have any questions at all, anything related to today's session, please email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. If you are watching on Zoom today, you've got the chat and the Q&A facility. We will moderate a Q&A towards the end of the session. And likewise, if you are watching on socials today, whether that's on Facebook, the Meta platform, or LinkedIn, please put your questions on the actual post and we'll endeavour to come back to you as soon as possible. I'd like to hand you over to Jordan now. Jordan, I'd like to hand over to you. If you've got any problems, any questions throughout the session, please let me know. But Jordan will be taking you through to the next 20 to 45 minutes.
Hey, morning, afternoon, or evening from wherever you are joining us from. My name's Jordan. I'm the Director of Student Life at the University of Roehampton, and I'm really delighted to give you a little flavour of what Roehampton is like and what it might be like to be a postgraduate student with us. I'm on campus today down in one of our colleges, Southlands College, one of our 4 colleges. So at any point, a student might jump into this room and ask for some help. So if they do, I'm really sorry in advance. But that's what it's like, and I'm really looking forward to showing you a bit about Roehampton today. So for the next kind of 20-30 minutes, I just want to give you a little flavour of what you might find here. So tell you a little bit about the university, tell you what it's going to be like to study here, and why we want you to come here, and most importantly, what makes it special to be a student at Roehampton. And I think the thing that we really want you to take away from today is that if you choose us, you're going to be joining a university that deeply cares about your experience in class, deeply cares about how we can support you outside of class, and more importantly, feel like a home away from home if you decide to come and live with us. So just a little bit about Roehampton to get us started. So Roehampton is based in southwest London. London can feel very big, but actually on our campus, we welcome thousands of students every day, whether they're coming to study, use the library, or they live in our halls of residence. And Roehampton has been delivering education for just over 180 years. We were one of the first universities in the country to deliver teacher training, and more specifically, the first university in the country to deliver teacher training to women. And we're really proud of that heritage. And that's important because we place students at the heart of what we do. That means when we make decisions about how we're going to deliver our courses, what you might study, what modules you might want to enjoy, what clubs you might want to join, we do that with you. You are part of the decision making, and students are really integral to where we go and what we do next. Roehampton's special because it isn't that big. You kind of will get to know everybody. So within your class, you'll get to know the people that you study with. You'll get to know the lecturers that teach you. You'll get to work alongside our specialist support staff in my teams, whether it's around academic support or whether you need a helping hand with your well-being. There will be people and friendly faces, and you'll get to see where you can go next. I'm going to touch on a few of those bits later on, but most importantly, we are a university with a long history. We've been doing this for a really long time, but we're evolving into the future, and you'll see that if you check out our website now. So when you look at the courses that we offer, and I'll touch on those in a second in more detail, there's lots of options, there's lots of things for you to get involved in, and there's actually a lot of choice. So there are lots of different programs that can specialize in the area that you are most interested in. So what makes Roehampton so special? Well, our courses are designed to be fit for the future. Our teaching is designed around you, from the timetable that you enjoy, whether you're with us for 2 or 3 days a week, through to the options that you might pick along the way. Some of our courses have more options than others, and at postgraduate study, we have some really clear outcomes that we want to deliver for you and with you. So that means you might not always see all the options you expect, but building all those different modules together means that you'll package things up so your future employers know that you've got a degree that makes you stand out from everybody else that is applying for those jobs. The timetable is really important to us. We know that coming to study is a big commitment, but you've got lots of commitments outside of Roehampton too. That means we will work with you to ensure that your timetable works for you. We won't ask you to start early and finish late. we certainly won't ask you to come in every day of the week. There's plenty of digital learning as well. So you'll be able to use Moodle, which is our virtual learning environment, to participate in some of your activity online. And you get all of the access to learning resources that you need at the touch of a button, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Excuse me. I think it's also really important to mention that our courses are designed with industry. So we don't just dream up a course that we think employers will like. We've developed these with people who will be employing you in the future. Some of the newest areas of development for us are in engineering, computer games design, and we've got big schools from business and law through to nursing degrees, and right across our psychology, arts and humanities and education programs. So there really is a huge amount of opportunity to get involved in lots of different things when you're here, but build a postgraduate program that works around your life, whether you are working, studying elsewhere, whether you've got family commitments, or simply that you want to do something else alongside. We want to make sure that this works for you when you join us. So there's a couple of things that I want to kind of push us through as I take us along this journey. One is to touch on our teaching, but secondly, and almost more importantly, on the support that we'll provide when you're studying with us. Now, we think Roehampton's a really special place to be. We think it's special to live here, and we think it's really special to study here. And I really love working here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. But we've also been rated by lots of different places as being a great place to study. So we have achieved silver in the Teaching Excellence Framework 2023. That means that we've been rated by the Office for Students as delivering really high quality learning and outcomes for our students. In the Postgraduate Taught Experience Survey, we are in the top 10 in the UK. Now that is a really amazing thing to be able to say to our students in a busy part of London, that you can come and not only get a great degree, but have a really outstanding experience. And outside of these, in the National Student Survey, which is for undergraduates, but it still applies, we consistently rank in the top 3 across a huge number of metrics. Finally, I just wanted to touch on research. Excuse me. In the REF 2021, and that is the most recent Research Excellence Framework exercise, we were ranked as the best modern university in the country and the best modern university in London for research excellence. 77% of our research is world-leading and internationally excellent. So you're not only being taught by outstanding academic staff who've worked with industry to build your course, but you also being taught by academic staff who are leading research in the area that they deliver. Now, why is that important? Well, that means that we're delivering information to you and helping you to understand the world around you, built on the next big thing. So we're not making it up. We're not reading it from textbooks. We're not being told by somebody else. These are people that are at the cutting edge of their discipline, whether that's in accounting, in forensics, in software engineering, or in psychology. These people are out there making a difference to the world, and ultimately you can work with them and benefit from their expertise. So a little bit about the different options that you can find if you decide to come and study with us. Lots of our courses start at multiple points in the year. So you might decide to join us in September. You equally might decide to join us in November, January, February, April, or July. Not all courses start at all points in the year, so you really do need to check the website and then you can reach out to us or attend our postgraduate open evening, the details of which you can find online, which is happening next week. But there are lots of different things that we can do to build it around your life. So if you're ready to go in September, great. If not, and you're ready sooner, you could apply for our April intake, which is coming up really soon. I've talked a lot about the timetable, but I do just want to stress that this is about building an experience that really works for you. And then finally, in terms of kind of teaching delivery, we have a huge range of short courses and CPD options. So whether you're looking to do something on top of your work, to hone in on your skills, or there's a short course option that we deliver that leads to a formal qualification or not in some circumstances, you can dip your toe in and we can build that to suit you. So in terms of student support, and that's kind of what I get to do day to day. And I would say this, but it's the best part of working here. We've got a huge number of colleagues whose job it is to make you feel supported both academically and non-academically along your journey. So whether it's in our library, our state-of-the-art library building, it's now about 5 or 6 years old. across those floors, we're full of colleagues who are specialists in lots of different areas, whether it's about referencing, whether it's about working on statistical support, or whether it's just helping to get some advice on where to find the information you need from the books or the resources online. Our library team are there. The library's open every single day of the year, potentially bar Christmas Day, to help you along the way. But when you join us, there'll be two sets of people that you see really regularly. First is your academic guidance tutor. So that is an academic member of staff who is assigned to you just before you begin. They'll reach out to you when you have your first day, and they'll be the person that you can go to help with things to do with your subject. So whether you're not sure about an assignment, whether you've been struggling to keep up with the content in class, they will regularly reach out to you to set up appointments to see how you're getting on. But more importantly, you can touch base with them. We then also have our team of coaches. Now, the coaches are there to make sure that you don't fall behind. Now, there are lots of reasons that you might be worried about study when you join, but our job is to support you. So my team of study coaches will look at how you're getting on, see if you need a helping hand, direct you to services that might be able to support you, whether that, for example, is one of our statistical teams, whether you need a little bit of help getting over the line with assessment. These are colleagues that work in the academic space, so they're all here to help you really do your best. Now, more broadly, outside of academic support, we've got a huge range of health and wellbeing advisors. Now, that is our student wellbeing team, our mental health counsellors, our disability and dyslexia team. We've got a GP on site. There is typically a 0-day wait for any of those support services, apart from the GP, which is provided by the NHS. That means whether you're having a tough day or something more complicated is going on and you've got a clinical diagnosis, our team on campus can support you while you're a student. There is no issue too big or too small. A huge number of our colleagues here are mental health first aid trained, so everyone is on your side. You will not have to suffer in silence if there's something that might be getting in the way of you doing really well whilst you're studying with us. Hopefully, you don't need those teams. If you do, they're here for you. Okay, so looking to the future, you're not just coming here to get your degree. You're coming here so that one day you can go back into the world of work or go into the world of work for the first time and secure the job that you really want. Now, our Student Futures team offer lots of different opportunities, from UR Jobs and our careers portal to self-assessment, CV and assessment centre support and advice. We've got a whole bunch of entrepreneurial funds. So whether you want to build a startup or an incubator, these are things that we can support you with. We can also help you to try and map out what you might want to do in the future. So we know that you might have a bit of an idea of what you want to achieve, but you're not 100% set on what it might be, or frankly, how you get there. I mean, neither am I. And I've been working here a long time, and I still don't know what I want to do every day. That is totally normal. And our job is to try and help you make sense of that. So the Student Futures team, our team of incredible careers advisors, are here to try and help you make sense of that. Now, some of you might decide to live on campus. If so, that is great. If not, that is not a problem. I'll talk to you about how you can travel to campus easily in a second. But if you do live on campus with us, we've got a team of flat reps. Flat reps are fellow students that live across our campus in each halls of residence. Excuse me. And their job is to help you feel safe and secure and settled in whatever you might decide to be doing. And then finally, they're just two small bullet points, but they offer an incredible amount of support. We have a multi-faith chaplaincy, so we have full-time chaplains on campus from all faiths, and they are here to ensure that your spiritual needs are well supported. Now, the chaplaincy will support you whether you are of faith or you don't have any. You don't have to be religious to engage with them, but there are some specialist areas, for example, in our chapels, that you can benefit from if you would like their support, advice, and guidance. And then finally, it's an incredibly safe and secure campus. So we're on a closed site, so you'll come in through our gates and you'll enter campus, and we have a 24/7 security team that are on hand to help you whatever might come up. Okay, so it's really important to think about the facilities that you might be able to use when you're deciding where you want to study in the future. I touched on the library earlier, and on the right-hand side, you'll see a picture of the top of our library. It's always this sunny. The library sits across 5 floors. It is an incredible space. As you go up through the atrium, you can see right through to the sky above you. And it's good to think of it a bit more like a learning commons. So it's not a traditional library. There's a huge amount of group work that takes place in there, a lot of our events and activities. So the first place you'll go when you join us for enrollment is in our library building. And it really is at the heart of our campus. I think that's probably where you'll get the buzz. If you haven't visited us yet, come and visit us. That's where you get a sense of what it means to be here. And as you go in, you see people working, learning, socializing, hanging out. And there's something really special about seeing that. Just next to the library is our David Bell Media Centre, and that's the home to our Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences department. They have state-of-the-art computer suites. They have a cinema. There are sound recording studios. There are film studios. Any piece of equipment you could possibly imagine exists in that building. And that's really important because it means our students who want to study for a future in the creative arts or the creative industries can use the equipment and facilities they need. But more importantly, if you're not from those subject areas, but you still want to use that stuff, you can go and do it. And I think that's really exciting. So you might be studying for an MBA, but you might be interested in how you can use some of that equipment creatively to influence your clients. I think that's pretty cool. So what about other spots on campus? Our performance spaces for dance and drama are up on our Frobel College. So that is about a 5-minute walk from where I am now. You probably won't go in those unless you're studying on those courses, but if you are, it's really important that they work for you, and come and have a look. We work really closely with the creative industries to make sure those spaces look and feel like what you would go into in the future, and allow you to express yourself throughout the curriculum in a way that fits you. Finally, over at Whitelands, we have our science and psychology labs. So they are built to undertake any of the range of assessments you might expect. So whether it's supporting elite athletes in their development and training for high performance, whether it's about working with the NHS on autism, Alzheimer's, or dementia, our labs are set up so that we can be using them to help, fight the battles of the future. And then finally, our healthcare hub. So the Mary Seacole building is home to our nursing programs, and it also increasingly is welcoming our new options. So occupational therapy and physiotherapy, for example, at postgraduate and soon to be at undergraduate level. It's really great to have that all in one spot. It means our colleagues can collaborate, and it means you get to meet people just like you, like-minded individuals who want to study the same thing. Now, you've heard a lot about campus, you've heard a bit about accommodation, but the thing that really sets us apart is our community. When you visit the site, on the right-hand side, you'll see the Hive. That is the home of Roehampton. Roehampton was a sustainability startup probably 10 to 15 years ago now, and it's changed a lot over time. When you come to campus, you'll see the chickens, you'll see the allotments, you'll see food and vegetables being grown on our campus that are sold in our outlets and are given back to our local community. When you buy in the Hive, that reinvests into the Students' Union. It's run by and for students, and that's a pretty cool thing amongst all the different options that exist here. We've got our gym and brand new sport courts up on Frobel. So whether you want to just keep fit or take part in a competitive sports team, we've got everything you could imagine that you'd need to be able to do really well there. It's also totally fine if you're not very good, but you just want to take part, a bit like me. Have a look online. It's really cool to try something new when you join somewhere like Roehampton. So I really encourage you to have a look at that. We're really lucky to have the Student Medical Centre on site. So that is a GP run by our local GP practice. We encourage every student who joins Roehampton to sign up to them. You don't have to. I would particularly encourage you if you live locally. It doesn't make any sense to keep your GP where you are somewhere else in the world. Campus is dotted with cafes, bars, and social spots. So whether you want to grab a cup of tea or stay up late into the evening, you can find somewhere that suits you. Our college kitchens mean that if you want to make lunch yourself, if you want to bring food in from home, you can do that, and you can do that with a friend or do that on your own. We've got our on-campus shop, but we're surrounded by options in the local community. So down in Roehampton Village, there are options too. We have this kind of weird fact that I think we've got the biggest purpose-built bike store in the UK, or it was at some point. It's probably not now. We've got loads of bike storage if you need it. And then really excellent transport links. So we've got the Roehampton bus, which runs from campus to Putney and then up to Asda, which is a supermarket up the road. That's free to students and to local residents. And then we've got TfL access right outside our door. So if you need to jump on a bus to either get to the station or to the tube. That is dead easy. You can walk down to the train line as well, so that's just a short walk from campus, and that takes you into central London in no time at all. So we're really well connected, but we don't have to be in the heart of London to make sure you're set up to get across the country however you need. So, student life. I mentioned our colleges, and I'm in Southlands today, one of our 4 colleges: Crowball, Whitelands, Southlands, and Digby Stewart. And these colleges are really integral to the kind of life and soul of the university. They're the place that you would hang out. They're the place where you'll be taught. You'll automatically become a member of a college when you join us. And it gives you kind of that network of people who are on your side, regardless of what you might need. The Students' Union run all of our societies. There is a society for everything. So whether it's something to do with your religion, for example, or where you are in the world, or a hobby or an interest. So from Harry Potter to baking to football and rugby, there is something for everybody. Some of them cost a couple of pounds to join. A lot of them are free. You can find out about all of them when you join us at your Freshers' Fair. And there is one across every intake. Equally, have a look online now and search them on Instagram or wherever you might find your social media content. Our sport team, as I mentioned, there are facilities on site. We have anywhere between 30 and 50 sport clubs, depending on the demand. It is completely student-led, so if there's something we don't offer but you would like, we can totally help to set that up. And I just want to touch on our esports arena. So a couple of years ago, we decided to invest in an esports team, an esports arena, and we were one of the first in the country. And our esports team now wins competitions worldwide. So we're one of the best in the UK, and we're also winning, Champions League format competitions across Europe. So they're a really successful team. But even if you don't want to play esports competitively, you can still go down into the arena, use the facilities, and hang out with your friends. The Students' Union, like I've mentioned, they offer our societies. They're also the home of Student Voice, so they represent your issues to us. We work really closely with the Students' Union to make sure that we're prioritising student needs. I kind of said this at the start, but having students at the heart of our decision making is really important to us. And the more you have the opportunity to participate in our activity, the better. If you don't, that is totally fine, but I would really just encourage you to give it a go. And then finally, music is like the heart, the lifeblood of the place. So whether you you play an instrument now, or you're part of a big setup, or you want to learn, there are loads of chances to do that along the way. Okay, so some of you might be thinking about moving to campus. That's cool. This is a great part of London to live in. Now, our accommodation is based right across all of our different sites. So whether you want to live on this college, or you want to live at Whitelands or one of our other colleges, there are rooms and finance options available for all budgets. So you can go from state-of-the-art ensuite to shared bathrooms and kitchens. Have a look online, book yourself a tour. All of our halls are self-catered. There are options on campus where you can buy food and drink, as I mentioned earlier. And our 24/7 security team are here to support you, whatever it is you might need a hand with. Clearly, we won't expect you to do the maintenance, so our full wraparound maintenance team will make sure that everything's spick and span, and you feel like you've got a home away from home when you join us. It's worth mentioning the accommodation guarantee. So full details you'll find on the website. But if you apply by a certain date, we will ensure that you definitely have access to live in our halls. So just make sure you get your application in nice and early if you can. So we talked about studying. We talked about living on site. We talked about what it might be to be part of the community. And now we want to talk about what you're going to do in the future. I talked about our careers team a little bit earlier on, but they will support you with everything from looking at your CV to applying for jobs. We've got lots of different options to gather experience along the way. Whether it's looking for a job alongside your study or looking for volunteer work in the local community, we want to help you build for your future. Our Careers and Development Week, which are embedded as part of each semester, allow local businesses, London-based businesses, and global businesses to come in and talk to you about the opportunities they have, and also to help you place your learning alongside what you might need to do when you graduate. Once you come to graduate, we won't leave you alone either. So our team continue to be available to you, whatever you might need as you start your hunt for a job, or once you've been out in the world of work for a long time, you can always come back and ask for help. I just wanted to touch on the professional experience year. So on some of our courses, we offer a professional experience year. So you would start your course with us. You then go out into industry. for up to a year and work and be paid for that work and then come back and finish your program. There are also different options within that professional experience year. So you might not work the entire time. You actually might not go out at all. You might do something like a consultancy project for a big company on site with a group of peers. And that's really cool because you're solving issues that big companies say they need a hand with. And they come to us because our graduates are really talented and they offer insight and solutions that other places and other students aren't always able to offer. We know that making a decision to study can be a tricky one, but we want to do our best to ensure that funding is not a barrier to your success. When you are studying at the postgraduate level, there are government loans available, so you can apply for a loan of up to £12,167 for those starting a new postgraduate course. And equally, if you're a PhD student, there are options for funding too. There are also different funding councils, so Techne and SENS is a couple of those. There are also other funding options for PhD study if you are interested. We want to really make sure this works for you. So if you are worried about fees and funding, get in touch and we'll see what we can advise you to do. Whether that's about taking a loan, saving up to study, or setting up a payment plan, they're all things that we would encourage you to think about and to make a sensible decision that works for you and ensure that you have the funds available to balance study and your life outside of us. Now, it's likely that when you apply, you'll see some information about the scholarships that exist. Some of those require you to apply for them. Some of those are applied automatically at the point of application. Academic excellence, for example, is based on the grades that you have on entry, whereas esports, sports, and music are related to potentially your talents in lots of those areas. Equally, if you are an undergraduate and going on to do postgraduate study, we offer an alumni discount. Like I said, some of these are automatic, so you won't need to apply for them, but all that information on fees and finance is available online. So have a look. And if you've got queries, let us know. It's not unusual for people to be worried about fees and finance, but we want to make sure that we support you. Okay, so how to apply? Well, you can apply online. So visit our website. You'll find all the information you need on the range of courses that we offer and what it's like to be a student here. If you're looking to apply for the PGCE, visit gov.uk. You'll find lots of information about how and where and what it's like to study for teacher training. If you are interested in PhD study, you can either go online and contact us, or if you know the academic in the department that you are interested in, please do contact them directly. We'll make sure that we provide the information you need. I'd also really encourage you to come and visit campus. So like I mentioned, there are open days and open evenings. Some of them are online if you can't make it to site, but a whole bunch of them are on campus. And I think that's where you get a really good flavour of it. If you're coming to visit campus and you're interested in PhD study, I'd really encourage you to tell us that in advance so we can make sure that the academic staff member you want to speak to is available when you come. Okay, so that's it. I'm really grateful for you listening to me ramble on for half an hour. And if you've got any questions, I'll just pause now to take anything that you might want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you getting through that as well. It's always great to hear. And I think there are a few fascinating insights there, actually, in terms of the accommodation, the promises that you offer when they apply. So we're just going to have a quick chat, if that's all right, just about, all things Roehampton, a few questions that have come in. Let's start with that, the fact that you're based in Southwest London, people will hear the word London and just think, crikey, you're in the heart of London. It's hustle and bustle, busy. I get lost. But in actual fact, I mean, I've been to Roehampton myself, and you're walking along one of the main high streets there, and you don't even know there's a university there. It's unbelievable, really, and the fact that it kind of blends into the local society, and the fact that you offer that on-campus accommodation is huge in a very, very expensive city. To offer that must be great, and a huge coup when it comes to recruiting students.
Yeah, do you know what? I think London can be a bit intimidating. I think people think about coming to London and they're a bit worried. And that sounds silly. If you're from London, that's going to sound silly because you're used to it. But the beauty of Roehampton is you are on this campus and you can be in the heart of London in about 15 minutes on the train with a couple of minute walk to the station. I mean, that makes it feel really special. I think we've got Richmond Park on our doorstep, which is If you guys don't know, this enormous national park just onto the side of us. We're a stone's throw away from the Thames. Uh, we're surrounded by sport and leisure. So you've got Twickenham on one side, Fulham Football Club on another, Wimbledon just down the road, Wimbledon Common not too far away. I mean, it's really special because I think you can be in London without feeling like you're in London. And that won't be for everybody. Some people will want to be in the hustle bustle right on the city centre, knocking up and down Oxford Street or wherever it might be. But if you do want to do that and you still want that campus experience, coming and living with us, I think is a really great option. And on the accommodation, some people love living on campus. I did it when I was a student, and it really worked for me. Equally, if you still want to live close to campus, but you don't want to live on site, there are lots of options in the local community here too. So we'd really encourage you to think about that when you're applying. We don't want you to have to travel a really long way to study every day. If you do, we will help you and support you to make that work. But the range of options in halls, I think, is really outstanding. And we can also build on your kind of preferences. So if you've got a preference to live with people of a certain gender, or your religious background makes you interested in certain things, for example, let us know, and we'll build that in for when you apply.
Important to note as well that people hear London and they'll think university, can I get lost? But going into the whole, you mentioned Richmond Park is just down the road. You've got Wimbledon Common not too far away. You're 20 minutes from Waterloo on a train. Important to note is there's other universities nearby as well. If you have got friends or you've got acquaintances that are going to the likes of, let's say, somewhere like Kingston or Twickenham St Mary, Middlesex, Imperial, Kings, UCL, wherever it might be,
Yep.
even Surrey, they're only 20 minutes away on a train, which means the connections are so important. Don't have to live in the heart of London. You're in Southwest London, affordable, and you can still have that friendship connection.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's entirely likely that you'll come to London. Your friends will go to lots of different places. That is absolutely how it goes. So we want to make sure that it's easy to get to those places, and you can share your experience here with people that might be studying somewhere else. And those experiences will be different, but they'll work for you if you come here, and they'll work for your friends if they go somewhere else. And I think one of the huge attractions of coming to London and coming to Roehampton is how diverse it is. So you'll come to Roehampton and you'll meet people that look and sound exactly like you, but you'll find plenty more people that look and sound nothing like you. And that means that when you're in class or when you're living in halls or whether you're part of a sport club, you're going to get this really rich sense of what it's like to be a kind of a global citizen based in Southwest London. And that I think means that while you're studying with us, you get this really rich sense of what it means to be part of a kind of diverse community. But when you're preparing for the kind of world of work or future study or whatever you might want to do when you graduate, you know what it's like to be part of that really kind of globally connected world with people who don't look and sound like you. And like you say, if your friends are at Kingston or South Bank or St. Mary's, we want you to be able to catch up with them really regularly. And that's, I think, about that flexibility in the timetable we offer as well. So we're not going to tie you to a desk here. You've got loads of opportunity to work, uh, take part in sport if you've got caring responsibilities, whatever you want to do alongside study, get out into London if you fancy it and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And, it's important to note as well, given the fact you're in West London, the diverse nature of the place as a whole. It's you go to some universities, some cities, you've got plenty of international students, but it's not a very diverse cosmopolitan location. There's plenty of them around the UK as well, where, like you said, they don't sound like you, didn't look like you, so you could feel a little bit isolated. Whereas you are in Southwest London, where it is very cosmopolitan, loads of different cultures. It was Chinese New Year yesterday, and you've got the biggest contingency of Chinese students, I think, just outside of New Malden, not too far away. So there's loads of different cultures. So, I know there's Nigerian students asking questions, and there's Chinese as well. That must add to the atmosphere when you're at the university, not only in the classes, but outside the classroom as well.
Totally does, and that is reflected in the festivities that we have on campus. So, from Diwali to Christmas, being two different ends of the religious spectrum, right through to the sport teams that people support and the hobbies and interests that people have. And what I think is really important is, moving to a new country or even a different part of this country, if you're already in the UK, you want to be able to get hold of the foods that you like. You want to be able to get the haircut where you want it. You want to be able to be part of those communities. And because of the rich, diverse nature of our student body, those places have built up around Southwest London. And that's not just because of us, but that means, if you're looking for a specific kind of food that you've grown up eating in Nepal, you'll probably be able to find that here because we've got a big community and people have built that. So it really is about building this kind of home away from home mentality where people feel well supported. And actually, if you guys join us and there's something you can't find, then let us know and we'll do our best to try and make that happen.
And look, that all adds to the student satisfaction. There's rankings that come out every year in the UK in terms of, where is the best place to study? And so many times people look for academic things, but what people forget is that living aspect. You've got to live there. You've got to enjoy it there. You've got to have friends there. You got to breathe in the culture and what it's like, and that all adds to it. Right. Let's talk about the academic side of things and in the classroom sizes and stuff like that. Because there'll be plenty of people watching that will go, I want a small classroom size, that's suited to my needs. I want a big classroom size. I don't want to feel like I'm being dealt with on a one-to-one basis. What do those classroom sizes look like? And can you therefore choose? And is a lot of it blended learning now post-pandemic?
Yeah, good question. So it is varied. There are courses that are bigger than others. You won't find yourself that often in massive classes. It will not be common for you to be sat in a room with 300 people. That might
Yeah.
happen once in the entire time that you're with us. We want there to be smaller groups where you get to know the people that you are studying alongside and get to know the person that is teaching you. Um, so that might mean, for example, on the single module, you have a big lecture and then you have a number of smaller seminars. Some of those will be on campus, some of those will be online. But there'll be plenty of stuff online too. But we'd like to have you here. We think it's important that you get onto campus, and get the most out of the academic staff that are teaching you. In some subjects, that will break down even further. So if you're using workshops or labs or performance spaces, you're going to be working maybe not one on one, but you are going to be working in really small groups with academic staff. But as you expect, that would be tailored around the curriculum. So I'm in Southland today. I'm in the business school. I can see people walking into a lecture hall over from me now. And then down here are smaller breakout groups. So that's what typically happens. They start off big and you kind of come in
Yeah.
small. And I think what that really does is set you up for when students are starting their assessment. So we do a lot of stuff around group work here. We want people to learn from each other. So you're going to get to know the people in your course pretty easily. And then in terms of choice, some courses have more options than others. You'll see that information on the kind of module handbook online. If there are options, we'll let you know. You might have to pick some of the options before you join. It's more likely that you'll pick them when you get here. We want you to build sensible options. So we want to build things that are going to work for your future career and ultimately deliver on that guarantee that you can do things outside of study. And everything is built in a way that is complementary towards this kind of single objective at the end of finding you a great job. So again, if there are modules that you're really interested in but we're not offering, just ask us, and they actually might appear. This is about postgraduate study, but if you happen to be an undergrad, you might see them in a later year of study, or we might be delivering that content but just under a different name. So let us know, and we'll kind of talk you through the options.
Absolutely. And I'm pleased you mentioned kind of jobs and opportunities and to enhance their career. We saw a great slide earlier about the career opportunities for students when they've graduated at Roehampton. The location where you are will obviously only enhance that opportunity. But what can students expect when they graduate? Can they expect some strong connections to global companies, local companies? And how does one go on and find those opportunities when they're graduating with yourself?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the really killer thing here is the best part of my job is graduation. I get to see people walk
Yeah.
across the stage, and typically you guys would have left and your graduation will be a couple of months later. And 9 times out of 10, a student will come up and say, I'm not doing what I thought I'd be doing. I've gone and, during my time with you, I've decided I want to focus on something else. And then you hear about this massive range of things. So we have students graduate and go and work in massive global companies in the heart of London. You're still thinking the City of London, Canary Wharf, and then right around the world from New York to Delhi to you name it. They're in
Yeah.
these big companies. That isn't for everybody. If that is something you want, great, and we'll support you through the process of applying for those roles. Lots of our other students want to go back into their local communities and make a difference. So whether it's about opening their own business on their high street or making a difference in the kind of locality they live in, the process we go through is trying to get an understanding of what the student would like. So really early on in your time with us, we're going to undertake a career readiness survey, and that's going to help us get a sense of, okay, how set are you on the journey? Like, do you know where you want to be? And if you do, that is great. We're going to help you get there. If you don't, we're going to help you make some sense of that. You'll then have the careers team by your side, looking at all the different options that exist for you, and they'll be based on your choices. We're not going to impose anything on you. And so for some students, that'll be additional study. For lots of people, it will be going into the world of work. And there's, I suppose, there's the kind of other part of this is lots of our students come to London from around the world and intend to go back to their home country when they graduate. But lots of students don't end up doing that. They go and live somewhere else in the world because of this kind of diverse network. So our careers teams are tapped into everything from local small enterprise about helping you to start up your own business or going into a major kind of, FTSE 500 company. In terms of helping you get there, alumni mentoring exists right across our campus. So our recent graduates are supporting our current students. But more importantly, people who graduated from here a really long time ago are supporting our current students because they've been through that career journey. And I've mentioned it, once or twice, but everything here is built with industry. So we're not building an accounting program without talking to accountants. We're not building an engineering program without having engineers involved. So not only have you got these graduates, you've got people out in the world of work coming back, providing support and being available to answer questions. And actually, a lot of the time, that's where some of these career opportunities start. You build this really strong relationship with somebody, and then all of a sudden you're applying for a job, and that person happens to be in the world, and you don't know about them. So I think it's a couple of things. It's about having this really strong sense of understanding what our students want, and also providing the support along the way, and not being afraid to work with students who aren't quite sure what they want to achieve, but they're really passionate about a subject area. And sometimes that's the most exciting thing because you can change your mind along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And I think that's so important to remember that, we're all human beings. We've all got very different ambitions in life. We've got different ways of, having a vision of what we want to do. Um, okay. And just finally, Jordan, if a student wants to go on and apply, they're looking at their English language requirement and the test that they need to pass. Presumably, there's set requirements, TOEFL, IELTS, Pearson's, Cambridge, whatever they want to take. If their language isn't up to scratch and they are struggling, do you guys offer courses or some some program that might allow a student to enhance that opportunity?
Yeah, so it's really important that if you guys are applying, you either work with us or if you are working with a local recruiter in your home country, that you understand what the English language requirements will be because we want you to succeed. And if your English isn't quite up to scratch, it will be tricky. Now, that said, we find a lot of students come and join us who speak really good English, but this might be their first time living in London or in the UK. And we have a couple of built-in curriculum-based support modules that essentially will support students with their English once they're here. So, for example, in the business school, students undertake a professional development program module, and that is about learning the sorts of English you might use in the world of work, as opposed to the sorts of English you might use when you're studying. Equally, I think one of the best things we do is kind of this peer-to-peer English language support. So you might be matched up if you want some help and advice or support. You might be matched up with a native English speaker or somebody that is from the same country as you but has been in the UK a lot longer and is more familiar with English as a second language. So that's a secondary option. The final thing to say is there are some preparatory courses that are also on offer through our School of Continuing Education. So if your IELTS score is not at the necessary level for direct entry, have a look there, and there might be an option for you to come in on a slightly different course to begin with to get your English up to speed. But what I would say is, if you're worried about your English, reach out to us. We'll have a really honest conversation with you. We want you to succeed. So if it's not quite ready, we'll tell you to hold off. But if it is, we'll help you along the way.
Excellent. And one final point, I was going to make the last question, but I think this is important. Intake dates. There's so many universities now that offer different courses throughout the year, and some unis are flexible. There's others that are more rigid and structured in their approach. Is it the general January, September intake dates for you, or is it, flexible and bespoke to the student?
So we've got a number of key intake dates. So we have September, November, January, February, April, and July.
Wow. Okay.
Not all courses operate on all intake points, so do check out online. More or less everything runs in September. A pretty decent amount runs in January, and then there are some tailored options in between that. So the likelihood is there'll be something starting sooner than September if you are interested in joining sooner. But equally, if not, some people will decide to have a little break and wait for that September to roll around. So have a look.
Yeah.
There's more options than you can imagine.
And I would urge anyone that's got any questions around today's session, but in particular around that English language requirement, about admissions, anything around applying that you're not sure about. It could be visas we've not really touched upon yet. Look at the email address pg.admissions@roehampton.ac.uk. There are a couple of Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok taglines there, so take a look at them. Like Jordan mentioned, there are mostly September intake dates with a few flexible other dates as well. So, Jordan, thank you for your time. Really, really appreciate that. It's been a great session. Anyone has missed anything, has any questions around this, please email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. It will also be hosted on postgrad.com in the next 48 hours, as well as YouTube. Thank you, Jordan. Thanks for your time. And we look forward to seeing everyone that's watching today on Zoom and on social media again for our next webinar. Take care.